Hey everyone, so hopefully you've had a chance to see The Last Jedi. If you haven't, I will be going into spoilers, so if you want to avoid those, click off of this video now. So, even if you haven't seen the movie, I'm sure you've seen the backlash that the film is getting right now. Over the past few days, I must have seen like 20 articles and videos that are all titled The Real Reason Star Wars Fans Are Upset with The Last Jedi, and all of them focus on really minor stuff. A lot of them think that Rian Johnson has single-handedly killed off Star Wars, or Star Wars fans are somehow incapable of being pleased because nothing will be the original trilogy. I don't know about anyone else, but I do not hold the original trilogy to some impossible standard. I like Knights of the Old Republic way more than I like the original trilogy. And I know some of you will disagree, and that's fine. But I think the main problem with The Last Jedi that's pissed so many people off is the movie just fucking sucks. And I think the main reason for that is the fucking horrible pacing this movie has. For the first hour and a half of this film, nothing happens. The First Order is chasing the Rebel fleet, and Luke Skywalker is not training Rey. The only thing we have to drive the plot forward for that time is this really horrible subplot with Finn and Rose where they go to a planet that is so uncharacteristically Star Wars, I don't even understand how it made it into the film. There are aliens wearing tuxedos and playing blackjack with dice. The only thing I can compare it to is imagine a Star Wars Christmas card where all the characters are wearing Santa hats and building a snowman. It just does not fit into this universe at all. And to make matters worse, this whole subplot pays off by them failing and nothing happening of it. I understand that it's supposed to subvert audience expectations that the good guy's secret plan doesn't pan out, but there are no consequences. Whether they go on this mission and fail or don't go on it at all, it would have all played out exactly the same. And somewhere along the way, there's this really interesting concept that's just treated like a throwaway line. The new character that nobody remembers the name of because he's hardly in the movie at all mentions something about the weapon manufacturers selling to both the New Order and the Rebellion, so they're both just parts of this larger thing that is war, and to stay out of it because it doesn't matter in the end, which I feel like could be a really interesting concept, but instead they treat that as a single throwaway line and instead focus on this whole animal cruelty theme, which doesn't really make any sense in contemporary filmmaking because it's 2017. And I don't know if you've seen social media, but it's literally millions of people talking about how they just want to pet other people's dogs. No one in functioning society wants to be cruel to animals. Speaking of characters being wasted, a lot of people are upset about Luke Skywalker, which I understand, but the more I've thought about it, the more I'm okay with it. Personally, I am more drawn to imperfect heroes or heroes that fall from grace, so I do like the idea of a more damaged Luke Skywalker. The problem is the execution is all wrong. I think if it was done correctly, even the most hardcore Luke Skywalker fans would have loved it. Instead, Mark Hamill, who's a fantastic actor, is given almost nothing to work with. Why not give him a scene where he's alone, agonizing over all the people that are dead because of him? How he's failed Kylo Ren as a mentor. How Han Solo is dead and it's partially his fault. How he's failed the galaxy. There are so many missed opportunities where we can genuinely feel for this character, and instead they're replaced with these nothing callback moments like this fucking blue milk scene where there's this random alien creature on the beach that he goes and sucks the milk out of its teat, mouthful of blue milk, looks over at Rey, then grits his teeth, spilling the milk onto his beard because it's so funny because there was blue milk in the first movie. What the fuck is this? How did this make it into the movie? For most of it, it just seems like Luke Skywalker is treated as a coward and a hermit, which I guess it's like a throwback to Yoda, but they're different characters. I will say, however, I do like how Luke Skywalker goes out in this film the more I've thought about it. I feel like he has grown as a character at that moment since the Return of the Jedi. And I don't know if you noticed, fun fact, but his whole force projection thing kind of proves that old Ben Kenobi in A New Hope was using Force projection. He was never there with the rest of them on the Death Star. Instead, he was just projecting his whatever they're doing. So that was pretty cool, I thought. But that's just me geeking out over the lore. Even though it does kind of seem like more of a retcon to the spooky bullshit part of the Force, whatever. I thought that was pretty cool. But what I didn't think was so cool was when Princess Leia flies through space like Mary Poppins or Superman. That was really dumb. Leia's always been connected to the Force, but that was small kind of feelings and intuition and stuff. Making her a full-blown, I can fly through space, it was just really absurd and fucking stupid. That was really dumb. Okay, let's talk about the big twist, because I think it's one of the few things the movie got right. 2 days before the movie came out, I actually was thinking about doing a video where I do a prediction of the crazy twist that's going to happen, and I actually got it right down to the T, almost. I remember seeing in the trailer Snoke holding up Rey and she's shaking violently, and in one of the behind the scenes trailers you see Kylo Ren fighting someone with a lance, who I predicted was going to be a Praetorian guard, which I was right. So what I thought was going to happen was Snoke would force shake whatever the fuck he's doing to Rey, and she's about to die, and that's when Kylo Ren strikes her down, similar to Vader and Sidious in Return of the Jedi, which is basically what happens. And then he offers Rey the chance to be his apprentice because of the rule of two, which I'm probably going to do a lore video on. Which, again, is basically what happens. So I was actually really happy with the twist. I remember watching it, I'm like, fucking knew it. I was really happy with how that turned out. I will say, I'm a little disappointed that we didn't see more of Snoke. He's still a big mystery to us, and I don't think that we've seen the last of him. I feel like he will come back, because the whole movie deals with balance in the Force and how, you know, light and dark, there's this balance between Kylo Ren and Rey. So I do think everyone pretty much knows that Mark Hamill will come back as a Force ghost. I'm like 100% sure we will see Snoke again. I don't think Sith are capable of becoming Force ghosts, but maybe through some like trauma or some psychological thing, Kylo Ren will just see Snoke constantly judging him for his. Something similar actually happened to Darth Bane in in the second book, Rule of Two, where he sees past the Sith Lords that he killed. They come back to him kind of like ghosts and basically mock him and do all this. So I do think we haven't seen the last of Snoke. I do wish we saw more of him, because he does seem like an interesting character. But that was like the best part of the movie, that whole throne room scene. Yeah, I just wish the whole movie was like that. I don't know what else to say. It's still kind of weird that Rey is as powerful as Kylo Ren, even though she hasn't had any fucking training. The only training she's had with Luke Skywalker was where he taught her what the Force is, and then she peered into the darkness and found out nothing about her parents. Oh, that's actually the other thing I liked. I liked that they kept her parents nobody junkers that sold her off for drug money or whatever it was. I think that is an important part of Star Wars, that anybody can be a hero or a villain. It doesn't matter if you're a Skywalker or not. Because if you think about it, even in A New Hope, yes, Luke Skywalker is brother to the princess and son of the Chosen One, but he himself was a nobody farmer on Tatooine. So I kind of do like that message, and I'm glad they kept that. But as far as the character goes, I think Rey is still the same person she was in The Force Awakens. I feel like out of all the characters, she has grown the least. She's still exactly the same scrap junker she was at the very start of The Force Awakens. I don't feel like she's grown as a character at all, which is weird considering she's like the lead. I don't dislike Daisy Ridley. Yeah, I don't know. Just fucking do something with that character. Show that she's grown as a person. Because Kylo Ren really just steals the show right now. And also there's Poe Dameron. I've always liked Poe Dameron. I think everyone has. He's a bit too bullshit in this movie, though. He's a bit too strong. He should not be able to X-Wing versus a Star Destroyer and get out scot-free. That's a little bit too glamorous, and just ground him a little bit, and I think that character's fine. Really fun character. So yeah, I think that's basically all there is to talk about in The Last Jedi. I came out after watching what the fuck am I trying to say? After seeing the movie, I was like, man, that was shit. But it has grown on me a bit. I do like that there's a lot to talk about with this movie. I feel like it's given us a lot to theorize about. But yeah, I just think there's some glaring fucking problems from a filmmaking standpoint. I am excited to see what Rian Johnson has to do with his next trilogy that he's getting. I really hope it takes place in the Old Republic, and I don't mean like the MMO. I mean like the time period, the Old Republic. But at the same time, do not fucking touch the characters like Darth Bane and Revan. Do not ruin those characters. Just make a completely new story. Show us something we've never seen before. And yeah, maybe hire someone to keep them in check. Make sure it's like, yeah, you just kind of got 15 pages of bullshit and horse racing. Alien horse racing in this one. Maybe just cut that out. And this character seems pretty irrelevant too. I think it's hard to describe. I like the good parts of The Last Jedi, and the rest of it sucks. So if they get someone to keep Rian Johnson in check, I think he can do very good things with Star Wars. But yeah, that was my opinion on The Last Jedi and stuff. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Also, I was thinking of doing some Star Wars lore, like Rule of Two, and like lore on the Sith in particular, because they interest me. Let me know what you think about that, and I might just do it. Alright, cool. See you guys next time.